So, let's talk about Imran Khan. When you hear that name, what comes to mind? Is it the cricket legend, the passionate philanthropist, or the controversial prime minister? Well, the thing is, he's actually been all three. His story is just this wild ride of transformation, and that's what we're going to unpack today. The three very different lives of Imran Khan.
And we're kicking things off with this quote. He said opening his first cancer hospital was like winning another World Cup. I mean, that just perfectly connects the dots, right? It bridges those first two major chapters of his life, the absolute high of winning in sports and this incredible personal mission he was on. It really shows how he dominated two completely different worlds.
Okay, so first things first. Before he was anything else, Imran Khan was a massive global sports icon. He was Pakistan's captain, or Kaptan, and honestly, that title stuck with him for his entire life.
I mean, just look at this moment. This is so much more than just winning a game. This is pure national pride. You have to understand, for a country as obsessed with cricket as Pakistan, the 1992 World Cup was everything. And Imran Khan, he was the guy, the leader, who brought that trophy home. It basically cemented him as a national hero, right then and there.
And it didn't stop there. The awards and honors just kept piling up. We're talking about some of Pakistan's highest civilian awards, getting into the ICC Hall of Fame. I mean, the entire world knew he was one of the greats. And that kind of superstar status, it gives you a platform that, frankly, very few people ever get. So he's at the top of the sporting world. But now, we're going to shift gears. We're moving away from the roar of the stadium to something much, much more personal. This is really where the second life of Imran Khan kicks off.
And this new chapter, it really started from a place of tragedy. He lost his mother to cancer, and it just completely changed him. You can see how his focus shifted from, personal glory on the cricket field to this new mission, giving hope to other people who were fighting that same battle.
And look, this wasn't just a one-off thing. It wasn't a short-term project. This timeline really shows you the scale of it. We're talking about a commitment that spans decades, with a third huge hospital on the way. It's just a testament to how big and how lasting his vision for this was. And if you need any more proof of his commitment, just look at this number, £90,000. That was his entire prize money from winning the World Cup. And he gave every single penny of it to the hospital. I mean, that's an action that speaks so much louder than words, right? And the people of Pakistan, they saw that, and they responded in a huge way. So, you've conquered sports, you've built this massive philanthropic legacy. What's next? Well, for Imran Khan, the answer was politics. And not just any politics, but the incredibly turbulent world of Pakistani politics. And to jump into that world, he was going to need a total rebrand. Yeah, this really shows you what we're talking about. You've got two very different images of the same man. On one side, you have the Oxford-educated, globe-trotting cricketer with that Westernized Playboy image. And then you have the politician, starting his speeches with religious phrases, using anti-colonial language. It was a very deliberate, very strategic shift to appeal to a completely different, more conservative base in Pakistan. His entire political message really boiled down to one single word, tabdili. It's Urdu for change. Think about how powerful that is. Just change. It was this simple, direct promise to a country that was just fed up with corruption and the same old politicians. He positioned himself as the ultimate outsider, the one who was going to bring real reform. And as he went on, his political language got sharper. He really started tapping into this strong public feeling against American foreign policy. He'd take really complex issues, like drone strikes, and frame them as a West versus Islam conflict. And that narrative, well, it really hit home for a lot of people in a country that was right on the front lines of the war on terror. So after more than 20 years in the political wilderness, fighting and struggling, the Kaptan finally did it. He reached the very top. In 2018, he became the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Now, that big promise of tabdili, of change, was about to be put to the ultimate test. His whole platform was called Naya Pakistan, a new Pakistan, and boy, was it ambitious. He promised to end corruption in 90 days. He was going to bring back all this looted money from overseas, create millions of jobs for young people, build a whole new welfare state. I mean, the expectations couldn't have been higher. But, as we all know, making promises is one thing. Governing is another. It's complicated. And it wasn't long before his critics gave him a new nickname, U-Turn Khan, because he started making some major reversals on his policies.
And here's what they were talking about. For years, he slammed the idea of getting a bailout from the IMF, and then he went and sought one. He used to make fun of a metro bus project in another city, and then he went and built a similar one. These kinds of moves just fed that story that, okay, the campaign promises are one thing, but the hard reality of actually running the country is something else entirely.
While he was in office, there was also a really big shift in foreign policy. You can see it right here. Relations with the US, which had been a traditional ally, started to decline. And at the same time, ties with China and Russia were getting stronger. It was a pretty clear pivot away from the old alliances towards something more independent.
So you've got these three totally distinct, sometimes even contradictory lives. How do you even begin to make sense of a figure like that? Okay, let's try and pull it all together.
This table does a pretty good job of laying it all out. First, you've got the cricketer. Defining moment, that '92 World Cup, for sure. But the critique is that it was this anglicized past he later tried to run away from. Then, the philanthropist. His hospitals are his legacy, no doubt. But critics would say he leveraged that celebrity to build his political base. And finally, the politician. He made it all the way to prime minister, but he was constantly accused of being a populist. You know, that style of pitting the people against the corrupt elite. And for all those policy U-turns.
So what's the one thing that connects all these different lives? Well, one analysis points to his incredible skill as a populist. It says he had this unique ability to take all these different ideas, Islamism, anti-Western feelings, anger at the elites, and just weave them all together into one single coherent story that millions of people could get behind.
So, an icon, a philanthropist, and a populist. He's been all of them. But his story isn't over yet. And that leaves us with the big question. What is his final chapter going to look like? And which one of these identities will be the one that defines him in the end?